As you can see, it has a little flip out screen there. My to-do list for today. Happy Monday and welcome back to another vlog. In this video, I thought I would bring you along for a day in my life as a full-time student and content creator. I previously made another vlog like this and I really enjoyed kind of bringing you along and kind of showing you the behind the scenes in a way. Today is actually my last day of uni for the spring semester. I have one last lecture and then an assignment to submit next week, but other than that, I am done, which is crazy. I still have a few more weeks to my internship, but in terms of my actual classes, I'm gonna be completely done. It's already 9 a.m. because, fun fact, whenever I film my morning routine always takes me twice as long, just because of the time it takes me to like set up the camera, change the lens, set everything up. So yeah, you have to plan accordingly, but in my opinion, it's worth it. Even though I'm just vlogging, like I prefer taking my time in setting up the shots. Obviously, sometimes when I'm in a rush, that goes out the window, but when I can help it, it's nice to be a bit more intentional. Here is the plan for today. It's currently 9 a.m. and I have a call at 9:30, so I'm gonna quickly have breakfast, get ready for that. It's a very casual call. I'm just catching up with a creator friend of mine and we have these calls, I want to say every month, just to catch up, kind of share some updates, and I feel like it's always nice to connect with another creator. Plus we also like to give ourselves some goals and just different objectives with our channels. So that's in a half hour. I do have to get ready for that, and then I have my lecture this afternoon. That's from 1 to 5. So other than that, on my to-do list for today, I have a sponsorship I need to post on Instagram and then also a vlog I'm hoping I can finish and post today. I just have to do the thumbnail. That's all that's left. Oh, almost forgot to mention, but tonight I also have plans which I'm very excited for. If you didn't know, and if this is the first video that you're watching from my channel, first of all, welcome. If you didn't know, I am studying film production and tonight we organized a screening for the film I co-produced, so that's very exciting. We invited a bunch of people, we rented out the cinema, and I think it's going to be really fun and really rewarding to see the film on the big screen. That is kind of a glimpse into my agenda. I'm going to film today and then maybe a little bit of tomorrow as well. Without further ado, I need to get my morning started and get ready for the day, so let's get going. It's a little after 10:30. I just had my call and that went really well, but now I'm going to continue tackling the few other things on my to-do list. I have about an hour and a half before I have to leave for my lecture this afternoon, so I'm hoping I could get that done before then. I feel like I'm just trying to stay on track, obviously, because finals are coming up, so it's just gonna get busier and busier. And as this busy time of the year is approaching, I actually wanted to share with you guys a tool I've been incorporating in my workflow these past few weeks that's really changed the way I work. It's called Whisperflow, and I'm very happy to be working with them on today's video. It's a voice-to-text tool that turns the way you naturally speak into text that's ready to send in any app and on any device. Now, I'm gonna be completely honest, I always considered myself a pretty fast typist, so I never really saw the appeal in dictating. And not only that, but I feel like native voice-to-text tools like Siri, for example, never quite worked for me. That is until I tried Whisperflow. Honestly, I can truly say with confidence that speaking is not only so much more natural, but faster than typing. It saved me so much time and I've been able to use it in so many different ways. For example, I feel like we've all been there, but if you've ever struggled with getting a first draft out, you can use Whisperflow to put down an outline instead of just staring at a blank page. Not only that, but it also formats your text as you speak, and it's able to recognize more complex words automatically, no matter what your field of study might be. If you're currently preparing for exams, as I'm sure a lot of you probably are, I often like to pretend like I'm teaching the material to someone. It helps me see what concepts I know and what I need to work on, and then with Whisperflow, I'm able to just talk out loud and then access the transcript of what I just said to add in any info I might need to go over again. I've also really been enjoying using it on a day-to-day basis in my work as a content creator. For example, when I have to write out some talking points for an upcoming sponsorship or when I'm replying to messages on the go. What's even better is Whisperflow is able to automatically take out any filler words, and it'll also catch any corrections or mistakes you might make mid-sentence. Let me just show you as an example. Hi, I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to follow up and confirm that I am still on track to submit that post for Friday. And then I also know we have to submit a few ideas for that campaign coming up. So here's a list. First, a voiceover style day in my life. Second, a cozy morning routine. Actually, no, I think a night routine would be better. And then third, like a sit down kind of advice style video. So let me know what the brand prefers and I can get started on a proposal. Obviously, there were a few hiccups as I was dictating, but Whisperflow was able to catch those mistakes and still format everything really clearly. One more cool thing I wanted to show you is that Whisperflow has this really neat snippets feature. So here I can set any snippets of text that I speak or type frequently. That way Whisperflow recognizes those shortcuts when I say them. For instance, I have the snippet where when I say calendar link, it'll automatically insert the calendar invite into my email. I also love to use this when I'm reaching out to brands. I can just say mail outreach, and my full outreach message just automatically appears as a template, which saves me so much time. These are just some of the ways I've been using Whisperflow on a day-to-day basis lately, but you can head over to the link in my description to try it, check it out, and download it for yourself today. And of course, if you use my promo code Clarice, you'll get 1 month of Whisperflow Pro for free. So a huge thank you once again to Whisperflow for partnering with me on this video. I'm gonna get back to work now, and hopefully I can check a few more things off of my list before I need to head out. It's a little bit later. Successfully finished my thumbnail. If you're wondering, I make all of my thumbnails directly in Final Cut Pro, which I know there's probably a better way to do it, but I'm just so used to making them on there. Sometimes I also make them on Canva, but usually I just import any images I have, I kind of place them, and then I can also pull up videos directly and take like screenshots from clips that I filmed in that vlog. And then I just play around with different fonts and different colors. Sometimes I also like to add hand-drawn sketches, which I do on my iPad with the app Procreate. I didn't make any sketches for this specific thumbnail, but sometimes that's also really fun. I feel like it adds a bit more of a handmade touch. I'm happy I got that done. I have a little bit more time before I have to head out. It also started raining, which is not the best. Yeah, that's not very motivating and does not make me want to leave the house at all, but oh well. I am gonna post this video, add the thumbnail, and make sure everything is all set. And then I have like a bit more time and I will pack my bag. Time is about to be 12 p.m., which is my time to head out. So I'm gonna pack my bag. As much as I love this top, I do think I'm gonna be cold. So I'm just gonna throw on this cardigan. This is my bag and we can pack it together. Of course, my laptop. I'm also gonna be bringing my iPad with me just in case. Some food, I have some leftovers, and a Builder's protein bar, which I always put in my backpack, and I just kind of carry it around in case I'm really hungry and I don't have anything to eat. But this has been at the bottom of my backpack for weeks now. I just like having it there just in case. I'm also going to be bringing my book for my commute. I'm still reading The Bright Years. Last but certainly not least, I'm going to be bringing my camera. I just carry it in this little pouch, and this is what it looks like. This is the Canon PowerShot V10. As you can see, it has a little flip out screen there, and it has this little tripod that you can kick out. Obviously, this is very tiny. It literally fits in the palm of my hand, as you can see, which is very convenient when I'm trying to be a little bit more subtle when filming. For instance, when I'm in class or if I'm at Pilates, I feel like this is just a lot less in your face than the big camera I'm filming on right now. I also film a lot on my phone when I'm on the go as well. I go back and forth sometimes with filming on my phone. Sometimes I really like it, sometimes I prefer the look of a camera, but so many big YouTubers film on their phone, and let's face it, this is just like the most convenient option, especially the back camera quality, which is very good. That is everything that's in my bag. Oh my gosh, this is heavy. I'm gonna head out because I don't want to be late. Time to go. Look at this rain. Safe to say, I do not want to leave the car right now. It is actually pouring, but it's okay. Okay.
Croustillant, un peu trop chaud, la sauce très bonne, le sel et le, je donnerais 7 sur 10.
Wow, okay. It is Thursday. I just got out of the shower and I wrote out my to-do list for today. I'm really hoping that I can just use today to catch up on some editing, a few things for content. I also specifically really want to sit down and actually plan out the month of April and the month of May in terms of content and uploads. I also have like a few miscellaneous tasks to do for school. I have to write out a report for my internship, and also I just got an email for study abroad that I want to look over because I'm gonna have to submit some files, I think. But yeah, today is pretty much a catch-up day, and I honestly really like days like this. Last thing I filmed was on Monday, and for some reason that feels so far away, even though it's only been 2 days, but I feel like that day was just so jam-packed. The screening we organized in the evening was lots of fun. It was just with like friends and family, but it was really nice to get to see the film on the big screen, and we ended up going out a little bit afterwards, so I got home late, and Tuesday I pretty much just slept in and relaxed, and then I had my internship yesterday. So we're kind of getting back into the productive rhythm today. Until my hair is a little bit more dry, I'm just gonna catch up on some work on my computer, and then we can blow dry it and I can properly get ready because I am fully in sweats. This is always my default uniform when I'm working from home, preferably matching. I feel like if it's matching, it makes me feel slightly more put together. I fully just change out of my pajamas to get in the shower only to put on another set of comfy clothes, but I feel like I at least feel a little bit more refreshed. I somehow completely forgot I have a call in 5 minutes for my internship, so thank goodness my Google Calendar notifications are on, because otherwise I would have completely forgotten about it. That is probably gonna actually take up the next hour of my schedule or so. It is a little bit later now. I took a break for lunch, but I'm getting back to my to-do list, and the next thing I want to tackle is this Instagram reel I've been meaning to film. I have this idea of making like a spring outfit inspiration kind of reel, and so obviously I have to set out the outfits in question and then try them on. You guys know that I've been trying to post more on Instagram, and so I feel like I'm just really experimenting with all the different kind of videos that I make on there. So far I've mostly made vlogs, but I want to try a little outfit video. Why not? I feel like it could be fun. However, I do feel like it's a more high effort short form video, because it's probably going to take me an hour to plan out all the outfits, try everything on, and then that doesn't even take into account the time it's going to take for me to edit the video and put everything together. But I feel like it could be fun, and I have the time this afternoon to do it, so why not? It's also really overcast today, which actually kind of works out well for me because it means the lighting should remain pretty much consistent. I feel like lighting is actually a very important concern and factor you have to take into consideration when you're filming, especially like a reel like the one I'm filming this afternoon, which is just trying on a bunch of different clothes, because obviously you want the lighting to be consistent from one clip to another, and it's going to take me probably a while to film. So if it was a really cloudy day, then sure, I might have a brighter sun, but then I'd have to wait for the clouds to pass. Otherwise, it's just a waiting game. So yeah, even though it's not super sunny, at least my lighting should remain consistent when I film. And I meant to film this video earlier this week, but I was waiting because it was just super rainy on that day. Therefore, that was like the worst case scenario. There's just no light at all. I'm gonna put on some music because this is probably gonna take me a while, but I'm just gonna go through my closet and pick out a few outfits that I want to film. These are the outfits more or less laid out. Some of them I like clearly put together, whereas for others I feel like I'm gonna try on different tops and see what I prefer. Also, I think I might have doomed myself because as I was laying out these outfits, it started to rain. So now it's a bit darker, but surprisingly still I think bright enough for me to film the video and get away with it without it being too dark. I feel like I just have to act fast before it gets any darker, but I have some clothes I need to iron, so I'm gonna do that really quick and then set everything up so I'm ready to film. It is now an hour later. I tried on all of the outfits and finished getting all the clips I wanted. So I now have to put everything away, which I'm not really looking forward to, but I'm happy I managed to get that done. I feel like you honestly can't even tell that it's raining because I'm sitting right in front of the window, which is really nice. I also do have my camera and specifically my lens on the right settings right now because otherwise, let me show you if I were to go in a dark little corner. I feel like you honestly can't even tell that much, although I am gonna close this to hide the mess. But that is because I invested in a good lens. Actually, I can give you guys a tour of my lens collection right now because they're all conveniently right here. The camera I'm currently filming on and the one I usually film on when I'm just vlogging from home is the Canon M50. I believe they no longer make M50s and now it's the Canon R50. And that means that all of the lenses I'm holding right now are actually no longer compatible with the new Canon model because I guess a lens mount is different. Regardless, I feel like I've gotten to a point where I'm pretty happy with my camera setup and the lenses that I have. Obviously, I'm still always eyeing new equipment, but I'm trying to be responsible and just use what I have. Earlier, I showed you the Canon V10, which is like the tiny camera I take on the go a lot. And then I also have a Canon G7X, and that was actually my first camera that I got for this channel. But obviously the Canon G7X has since then completely blown up. It's kind of crazy to me how expensive that camera's gotten because I remember getting it off of Facebook Marketplace for pretty cheap. So even though I don't use it as much for my videos, I am definitely holding on to it, and I do like to sometimes pull it out because it does have a zoom lens and it's also good for pictures. But as I was saying, when I'm vlogging from home, I film on the Canon M50 and I have 4 lenses, including the one I'm filming on right now. The default lens that this camera comes with is the Canon 15 to 45 millimeter. This, as you can see, is a zoom lens, meaning you can zoom in or out. Let me actually film on it so you can see what it does. This is what it looks like with the default 15 to 45 millimeter zoom lens on. This is the zoom in action. Not the most flattering. Even though the zoom is fun, I feel like I don't really reach for this specific lens that much anymore because right now there is a decent amount of light coming in from my window, but I feel like one issue I have with this lens is that once it gets dark, it kind of has a hard time compensating for the darkness. And I do have another zoom lens. This one is wider. It's 11 to 22 millimeters. It's a little bit beaten up because I've used it quite a bit. But let's put it on. This is the 11 to 22 millimeter lens when you put it on. As you can see, it's much wider, so you can see a lot more of the background and what's around me. And the reason I got this lens is because of the wide angle. I really like how you can see pretty much the entire background around me. However, it does mean that I usually have to go and clean up the mess that's in the background because you can just see so much. It does also zoom in, just not as much as the other one. And once again, I feel like this one doesn't do that well in low light either. The aperture only opens up to 4.0, which again is like decent, but I just like being able to open up the aperture even more, which is why I got this lens, the one I was filming on earlier. These two lenses are both from the brand Sigma, and I want to say they're like my go-tos when I want something a bit more cinematic. They're both prime lenses, meaning you can't zoom in or out. This one is set at 56 millimeters, so I'm actually not even gonna bother putting it on because it's just so zoomed in. If you ever watch my vlogs and you see like a close-up shot, this is usually what I like to use. Again, I feel like I can get a nice blurry background setting to my clips when I film with this one, which gives my vlogs a bit of that like cinematic quality I'm sometimes looking for. So again, I will use this for like close-up shots, kind of like B-roll and that kind of thing. And then this one is the one I've been filming on the most as of late. This is definitely the bulkiest lens that I have, and I feel like when I put it on my camera like doubles in size, but I just really like how this one looks. I'll put it back on so you can see. And just like that, we're back to how we started. I feel like when switching between these, you can really tell the difference in the look that they give. Obviously with this one, I am a lot more up close and I don't necessarily have the option of zooming in or out. I just have to bring you guys closer. And I've also noticed that if ever I'm like filming and holding the camera up like this, I get out of breath so fast because it's significantly heavier with this lens on. I also have an external microphone on this one. It is a Rode mic. I don't really know that much about microphones, I will say. I feel like I just went into the store and asked them to give me recommendations. I also got this little light off of Amazon last summer that I sometimes like to use. It's pretty self-explanatory. Hope you guys enjoyed that little equipment tour. If you're wondering, I'm probably gonna get back to work and get back to my to-do list because I have a few more things I need to get done, specifically editing and planning content. So I'm gonna put away all the clothes that I took out and then sit down with my computer. I also need to airdrop all the footage I just filmed. So let's get back to it. It's 9:45 and I have been sitting here for the past 4 hours. I want to say I did take a break to make dinner and eat, but other than that I have been hard at work on my computer. I'm very happy though because I will have managed to check almost everything off of my to-do list. The only things I did not get to finish today were that I wanted to write an outline for my research paper that's due next Monday. However, I've already set aside the entire weekend for that, so I'm gonna get started on that tomorrow morning. And then I also wanted to start editing a rough cut for the video I'm gonna post on Sunday, but I just didn't get around to it, which is fine. I've actually been planning out a bunch of content for the end of April and the month of May. Overall, it's been a very productive day, and I'm probably just gonna wrap it up by watching a show and calling it a night. I'm just gonna finish editing this reel first. That is where I'm gonna wrap up today's vlog. Unfortunately, I forgot to film an outro, but I hope you enjoyed. I have lots more productive vlogs coming your way, so stay tuned. And until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day or night wherever you are, and I will talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye!